All right. So, okay, so we are all done with day 3 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop. Today we went over the faith-based organization, also known as a 508c1a designated trust. So after that, we went through the online process of getting our tax-exempt EIN number with the IRS. And lastly, I showed you guys the steps that you need to take to do the online ordination so that you guys can become ordained ministers if you're interested in that. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and open up the floor for Q&A so that I'm able to answer any and all questions that you guys might have based off of the information that we went over today. So the first hand that I see here is Osiris.
Happy holidays, Christina.
Thank you. Happy
Thank you for all
holidays
that
to
you.
you.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. I
Uh,
appreciate you so much. Thank you.
yes. I have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
Um, One is about just the members in general. You referred to trustees, board members, board of directors, officers, and things like that,
Yeah, there's
right?
a lot.
Yeah. So basically, when I know I'm the first trustee. So if I have a successor trustee, is that person automatically part of the board of directors or part of the board members? And you said there's a minimum of 3 members, right? So does that include myself? So say a secretary of treasury and myself, or do I need 3 aside from myself?
Okay, that's a good question. So when it comes to the faith-based organization, it's going to be 3 people plus yourself. So if you want to reduce that number, you can, but typically the board alone, outside of you, is anywhere between 3 to 5. The first question you asked is about the successor. So the successor trustee, if you only appoint them as the successor, then that's it. They don't have no other position. So if you want to appoint someone to be the secretary and the successor, then you can do that if you would like. But the successor trustee really doesn't do anything, but just sits idle waiting until until it's time for them to become the acting trustee.
Thank you for that. I mean,
You're
you
welcome.
would for you said trustees. So why would you have more than one trustee if you already have other board members or other, you know, directors or officers, there? Or is that the same? I guess that's why I'm confused. Are you
Okay,
considering
I
the
mean,
like?
well, so it just depends on you. So if you don't feel the need to have like a co-pilot or someone that is equal to you that is able to go open up the bank account, go to the closing table, or make decisions about the assets, then you don't have to appoint a co-trustee. So a co-trustee is not required. It only takes one trustee to operate. So you have different instances where other people's situation and circumstance and the way that they're structured requires them to have multiple trustees.
Got
For
you.
example, for example, if you have like spouses, right? So there's 2 of them.
Mhm.
And so you have to have a co-trustee if both of you guys are going to be equally operating the trust. That's just one
Got you.
example.
Got you.
If you have like a business partner, right? That's your co-trustee.
Got you. Got you. Um, One more thing about that. So I never, I got my EIN. I set up my actual ministry, but I never appointed any board of directors or board members. Now that I know who I want now, so do I send them like an email just saying that I would like you to be part of the board or the one of the members, and then would get a confirmation and log that in, or
No, you have to have a meeting. So you have to have a meeting where you're nominating them and they accept their nomination and then they sign agreeing to their appointed position.
gotcha. Great, thank you for that. Transferring properties into the 508. Now, the 508 takes over the financial responsibilities, right?
Correct.
So it's a two-part question. Basically, does that debt come off of me? Like, say my credit report now. Like, so
No.
so it wouldn't affect that. Okay.
No. So
This
if you're the person who, for example, signed for the mortgage, you're still responsible for that mortgage, and that mortgage is still going to be on your personal credit report. And the only way for that debt to be transferred to the organization is if you refinance.
got you.
You have to
Um,
refinance the debt into the trust for it to be the financial responsive, not the financial responsibility, but the financial liability of the trust.
okay. Now, you were saying that you could do all type of things like leases and sell and buy. So now if the 508 owns the property, so I have like a three family. So if if I'm getting rental income, is that considered income for the ministry? And is that taxed?
Yeah, so if you're getting rental income, then it is considered income for the ministry if it's being labeled as income. So the way that money comes into the organization is very important on how you label it. If you label it as income, it is income. You do have to file taxes on income. For a 508, anything over $5,000 needs to be reported and you need to file.
So then I would what? So the rent that would come in, I would say is a donation.
So it's very important how you label money that comes into the organization. So if that money is coming into the organization as a donation, then you do not have to file taxes or report donations or tithes.
Gotcha. One more question. Investments. So, me, I don't know if you were, my name is Chris. We've talked plenty of times. Um,
Christopher,
yes,
your
Christopher.
name is Christopher, and
That
you live in
is.
Connecticut,
Hey,
and
hey, hey, hey,
you
hey, hey.
have many daughters, and I know everything
Correct,
about you.
correct. Yes, correct. That is correct. That is correct.
Uh-huh.
We talked about the Forex situation and other investments. So again, when we're talking about getting using these investment platforms and receiving these funds, that's going to be taxed as well, correct? So we talked about
Say that
running
again.
the Forex. You said running the Forex through the ministry, right? Through the
Hmm.
bank accounts. So
Hmm.
if we get gains or profits from that, that's going to be considered income for the ministry, correct?
It is.
And then I would have to pay taxes on anything over 5K.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I think that's it. Thank you so much for your time and all your wisdom.
You're welcome, boss. Thank you. Thank you for still rocking with us until the wheels fall off.
Listen, man. Listen, you doing your thing, man, and I have faith in you. So I ain't
Thank you.
going nowhere. I'm gonna follow your lead, and it just took me a while to get everything together. To understand what I really wanted and what I needed, and now I'm starting to move forward. So
I'm
I'll
so
try to
glad to
reach
hear
out.
that.
Yeah, man, it's time. But I'll reach out to you on the back end, man. I have some other questions and things I want to get done, and I'll figure
Okay.
it out. Thank you so
Sou-
much.
Sounds
All right,
good.
sweetheart.
For
Take
being
care.
here, Chris. All right.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm
Bye.
proud of you. Proud of you. Next
Appreciate
we
you.
have, you're welcome. Next we have Uzi. Hey, Uzi. Long time no see.
Yeah, I know. Been doing some things. And I'm
Okay.
glad the brother just
You,
asked. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad that, oh, my bad. Good to see you. It's good to be back in the midst and hearing all this wonderful wealth of information coming out. So thank you for your time
Hey,
once again. Um,
absolutely.
and indeed, and thanks for the community too, for everybody that's joining in. Welcome aboard. But my question does center around some of the things Osiris was just bringing out, and I'm glad
Okay.
he asked that question.
Yes.
I just bought a property, and for some reason, the lender that I used to buy the property, they were not equipped to handle my trust, like to put the name of the property or I mean, put the property in the name of my trust. So they were telling me
Mm-hmm.
I had to wait for so long, and then I could refinance and then change it. But can't I still quit claim it and leave the financial obligations in my name as the trustee, but quit claim quit claim it and transfer the deed over to the name of the trust? Is that a possibility?
Yes, you can do that. Yeah. So as long as you have the deed to the property, absolutely, yes, you can redeed that property into the name of the trust. Yes.
Okay, excellent. And my other question was kind of surrounding tithes or offerings, right? Free will
Yeah.
offerings, and taking them. The financial institution that I have my 508c1A in is Fidelity.
Okay,
But
I
I'm
love
not
them.
sure. Can I? Oh, really? Okay, well then, good. I'm glad that this question is coming up because am I able to accept offerings inside of that kind of financial institution that's really a brokerage?
So as long as you have one of their accounts, which is a cash management account, they have several different accounts that they offer. One is obviously like a brokerage account for investments, but then they have a cash
Mhm.
management account where you can just hold, funds. And they're not deployed to investments getting interest and dividends. So you can place those funds there.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, great. Great. Well, like I said, good to see you again. Like
Yay.
I've been making moves. I'm doing my best to work with inside of being a trustee on all three of these trusts. But right now I'm really focusing on this one. So that's my focus. And that's where I've been at. So hopefully I'll be around a bit more to soak this up some more too, while also gaining the experience of working as a trustee. So
Yes,
thank you.
I love that. And don't forget about your brothers. You say you was gonna bring your brothers along with you.
Oh no, I'm working on that right now. A lot of them. I'm so focused on this 50AC1A is
Yeah.
that I haven't been talking to them as much. But I'm
Oh,
gonna get back with them as soon as I can.
yes, that's good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So, I'm glad that you have the intentions on paying it forward. So that's a good thing. So,
Oh, indeed.
definitely proud of you moving the needle forward. So continue to be great, Uzi, and we're here for you.
All right, thank you, sis. Have a
You're
blessed one. All right.
You too. God bless you. Next we have Titan. Hi, Titan. And I will definitely look in the chat for those of you guys that are unable to come off mute. Hi, Titan.
Hey, hey, thank you so much. Oh my God, every time my mind is blown.
Awesome.
Okay. So my question is this. What if you don't have family? Can I just skip over the whole family trust and operate with the ministry and have the ministry own my business trust?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And
everyone's structure is different. Sometimes one of the entities, is not applicable within their structure.
gotcha. Okay, and in saying that, so when I have a business and so say for example, I have the Forex, I get into Forex and I have a training program where I'm teaching the Forex and and they donate so much from that program to my ministry. Can I do that?
The train, yeah, yes. So, the faith-based organization can be charitable or education. So if you are providing it more from a standpoint of education, then yes.
Okay. Um Okay, so even with my business, the profits I get from my business, I can donate. So, say for example, I currently have a home care company, but in the home care company, I'm putting a component in it where there's like job training. So, with that, whatever profits I make out of that, can I donate that then to my ministry
Yeah.
from my, okay. Um, and then there's a for the ministry, is there a extra? um, paper that I need for donations to give so people can donate and be able to write it off on their taxes?
Yes, there's a donation receipt and it's inside of your resources. So if you didn't see it as an attachment in the email, which it should have been, then you will see it inside of the program. You scroll all the way down to the bottom to where it says resources, and you have all of the additional resources that you need, and one of them is a donation receipt.
Well, okay, so yeah, the receipt. I mean, I don't need to file anything extra with the um with the IRS, like to get some kind of special something from the IRS that I can do that. I can just
Yeah, so our CPA will talk about that on Friday, but
okay.
if you want, best practice is to file a 990. So our CPA will talk about that on Friday.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. You're
All
welcome.
right. All right.
All right, next we have Stacy.
Hey, Christina, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
You're
Just a few
welcome.
questions.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
for the postal address that we're getting for this, I was a little confused. I know they have a few options. Do we have to do the business option for the address, or can we get like the cheapest 9.99 address?
You can get the cheapest one.
Okay, because I think it said like you can only get mail in your name, but not in a business name if we do the cheap one. So.
Oh, okay. So you want to do the one that's for the business so you can get it in the entity's name. That's the whole goal.
Okay. And then do we have to have a separate phone number for all of our trusts, or is it okay to use like our Google trustee number?
Yeah, I would definitely use like the Google number, and if you want to just have one number, that's fine. You just have to consider, how you're operating it, because it might be required for you to have two different numbers, but one should be sufficient.
Okay. Yeah, just thinking because I know like with the addresses, then once we add the numbers, like per trust, it kind of starts to add up. So I was just curious if we could get away, like, is that phone number for the trust normally filed somewhere else? Or I was just thinking I would, as a trustee, get a Google number for my regular number and then use that Google number for any place I may need to put a phone number for a trustee for any of the trusts, that I would just
Hmm.
use that
Yeah.
one Google number. Do you think that'd be okay?
Yeah, so you're gonna use the number in several different places. So the IRS is one place, the bank is another place, and then other places where you do transactions for the trust. They do ask for a phone number. So
Oh,
you
okay.
will be using it just as often as you use the address, because usually when you're filling out all these documents, they ask you for address and phone number.
Okay, so for the trust, it sounds like it would be better to use separate numbers for each one if we are having to put the number in a lot of different places. Is that what you're saying? Kind of
So
recommending?
this is what in a perfect world, okay? So in a
Mm-hmm.
perfect world, the most ideal situation is for everything to be separate. So meaning the entity has its own address and phone number. Sometimes it's not economical to do that. So you might have to use one number for all three. So it just depends, but ideally you want everything to be separated.
Okay. Okay. One more question for the board of directors, or I guess, is it just the board of directors with the FBO, or is it still the board of directors and the board of trustees?
No, it's just the board of directors.
Okay, so with the board of directors, since we're using the family trust, some of us will use the family trust as the beneficiary. Can we choose any of our children as as an officer to be a
Yeah.
part of the board of directors?
Yes, because your children are not the beneficiaries. The trust is, and the trust is separate from your children. Your children are not the trust.
Okay, perfect. So the other trust, okay, so I guess would it be the same with the business trust also? We'd be able to use our
Yes,
children.
yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Christina. Yeah,
they just cannot be board members of the trust that they are a direct beneficiary of.
which is that family trust.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm getting it. Thank
Yeah, it makes
you.
sense, right?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome, Stacy. All right. I see Camille put in the setup for the EIN, the part that is asking for us to provide the business activity and services. So in that section, they want to know what what is the organization, what does it do, right? And so you're gonna go scroll down to the bottom to where it says other, and then you're going to type in a faith-based organization. So you are identifying, what it does. So let's see here. Kim asked, should a Fidelity Trust account be under the Family Trust or the Charitable Trust? That's a wonderful question, Kim. So you can have a Fidelity account with any of the trusts. So you can have it under the family. You can have it, so there's no limitations. So you can have a Fidelity account for the business, for the family, and for the 508. Okay. So it just depends on what you would like to do. Bobby asked, let's see, if you have investments and want to borrow against them instead of filing taxes on capital gains. So you're able to do that. So there are a lot of strategies where you have stocks or you have a portfolio or you have crypto, right? And instead of you liquidating the stocks and paying capital gains, or instead of you liquidating the crypto and paying capital gains, you can borrow against the portfolio and you will receive a loan and you do not pay taxes on the loan. So that is definitely a strategy, and I'm glad that you mentioned it. And next we have Courtney. Hi, Courtney.
Hi, Christina.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
Good. Okay, so as usual, I have a few questions. Uh, okay, so one of them was so I think someone already touched on this. I just want to confirm that I understood it correct. So is it that just like the other trusts, it's ideal to have three board members, but you only have to have two is like the very minimum that you can have. Is that correct?
So, um, okay, so you want your board to consist of at least you and one other person, okay? And that is for the business trust and the family trust. For the faith-based organization, your board has to be at least 3 to 5 people, and that three is separate from you. So that means that the board is going to consist of 4 people. It's going to be you and 3 board of directors.
Gotcha. Okay, and that is a requirement with the
Yes.
faith-based.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. And then so I'm considering using this trust to operate like a mobile wellness salon for people with disabilities, senior citizens. But I'm not sure if this is going to be like the easiest way to manage something like that. I'm going to be a one-person team. I'm not really going to have a team of people helping me. And so I'm wondering if it would be best to operate it within this organization, which seems like it could take a lot more like administrative work versus just making it like a for-profit business and then maybe using the nonprofit to provide like scholarships to people who are low income that can't afford the services that I'm offering. What are your thoughts on like kind of the ideal setup?
Yeah. So your second option sounds like a really good viable option. My question to you is the activity that's happening in the business in its entirety, is it for profit or nonprofit?
I would like for it to be nonprofit because um, within a nonprofit, you can still pay yourself a salary and all of those things, right? Like just the profits would stay within the organization, right?
Yeah, so
Um,
if like truly if it is nonprofit, which it does sound like it is, I think that you should operate it under the 508.
okay, gotcha. And if that is the case, then I'm also wondering like how do I um take funds, like receive funds? Like if I am providing a service, do I just say like it's a suggested donation of this amount?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
yes, okay.
you're going to ask them for you're going to ask them for a donation, and then you'll provide them with a donation receipt. And yes, you can let them know like, what you can give them either an exact amount or a range.
Okay, gotcha. So you can determine that, and it's still a donation if you even if you give them a determined amount that
Mm-hmm.
you need to provide that service.
Yeah. So it's just like us telling our members, hey, it's 10%. So another way that you can structure it is you can have your clients apply to be members, and then they are already agreeing to a certain donation amount.
Okay, gotcha. And if they became members with a specific donation amount, would that be like an annual amount kind of thing or like a one time? How does that work? Or you can set it up either way.
So yeah, you can set it up your way. So typically, people, you can do it weekly, or you can do it monthly, or you can do it quarterly. So it depends on you actually, because it's going to be a part of your membership requirements or
Okay,
standards of your membership.
okay, gotcha. And like what would the benefit be of making it a profit versus nonprofit? It would just be that I could then keep the profits or just you're distributing profits to your family trust, correct? I could do it that way.
Yeah, so you obviously have more leniency when it comes to the income. Um, of the organization. And yeah, that income ultimately is going to flow into the family trust. So the income in the 508, it's not considered income, but it's funds, and you have to you have to properly document like the disbursement and allocation of the funds and stuff. So when it comes to the 508, as you mentioned, it is a lot of bookkeeping, record keeping. You really have to walk in a straight line when you're operating a nonprofit. And so it's just going to require, additional um, ways of you being able to allocate those funds to other places that you need them to go.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah. Um, I am still considering doing it in the for-profit way just for ease of administration.
Mhm.
So if I did it that way, then would it be pretty easy to like I mean like the main goal for me is to be able to um yes, make money on my services, but I want to be able to provide the services to people who would not normally be able to afford those services. Like the majority of the clientele that I want to serve would be people that couldn't afford the full price of the service. So I want a way to provide that service free or low cost. And so um, the other option that I mentioned, you said that would be a viable option too
Yeah.
if I wanted to like use my nonprofit. How would that work if I wanted to provide funds to help them afford my service for my business?
Mm, so I'm just thinking quickly. It sounds like you would have, so are these two separate individuals? You like you have your for-profit individuals, right, that can afford your services, and then you have other individuals that cannot afford your services? Is that what we're saying? Or
Um,
is it everyone that cannot and need a um a scholarship?
so like this is still like information. I haven't like really formed it or started the business yet. So I could set it up either way. But I am open to providing the service for people who can afford it. My initial thought was to do like a sliding scale pricing or something where people who can afford it can pay a higher rate than people who cannot afford it. But another way I thought about using it, like another company that I used to work for, they provided services, but if a client couldn't provide services, then they partnered with a nonprofit organization that would award people with grant funding that could pay for the service that they could not
Mhm.
afford
So, I mean,
during.
so you're pretty much gonna do it the exact way that you're explaining it, right? Because ultimately you have to think that for your for-profits, which is your business and your family, in order for you to reduce your tax liability, you're gonna donate to the 508. So the 508 is gonna have money that the organization can deploy to missions like the one that you're describing, right? So the 508 already has funds that they received from other organizations and people and places and um, trust, right? So at that point, then yes, exactly what you're saying is that one of their, what's the word I want to use? Um, One of their funds could be, and you can like name it whatever you want, but one of their like missions or their funds is to provide um I'm not sure exactly what your stuff is, but let me just share. Like, let's just say one of the missions is that they want to provide, you know, um, hair services to people with cancer that are losing their hair, right? So then that's one of their missions that's inside of the 508. And so they're able to give to your for-profit entity because it's within their constitution and bylaws that they have a fund and allocations um and allocated funds for that fund for that purpose.
I see. Okay, so it's okay to donate to a for-profit entity as long as it is in alignment with the mission and purpose of the nonprofit.
Yes.
Got you. Okay, perfect. And then, so I could, in theory, like
So
say
it
if,
and the word is not donation. So the 508 is not donating to the for profit. That's not what's happening. But
okay,
they're providing or they're covering the cost for that service for that one individual. So I would do it to the point where that one individual is like applying
yeah,
for that grant.
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm picturing like maybe whenever they sign up for the service online, then it says like if you can't afford this service, apply here, and then they fill out an application and it directs them to the nonprofit's website to fill out an application. Something like that could maybe work.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you. I think I'll just leave it there for right now so other people can ask questions. If there's still more time, I can talk with you some more.
Okay, sounds good, Courtney.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. So Kim says, can assets of the business trust be granted to the FBO? So the answer is yes. Any trust or organization or person um can convey assets to the faith-based organization. Next we have Bobby. Bobby, are you still
Hello,
available?
hello, hello,
Hey,
hello. Hey, it
how are
took me
you?
a minute to get to the mute button. I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
So my questions today are about property and conveying property in the context of like estate planning and um, basically opening an account, dealing with like the IRS and a regular banking, no problem. But as far as conveying property, most of the taxation and the regulation entities around how to use the property and everything are all based through county and state. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like a separate set of rules. And so the 508 entity does not need to get any sort of permission. It's just declared and then it exists. But as far as dealing with the state, it seems like, from what I've found, that you have to do some sort of process to apply to the county clerk or something. And
Correct.
just the stipulations for getting tax exemption are much more specific. And it's become a little unclear. And I don't want to just do a quick claim on the property and then assume that it's exempt and then have them come on the back end and try and take the property or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me be very clear. Um, when it comes to the 508, right? The 508 is automatically exempt from having to file federal income taxes with the IRS as
Yeah.
long as the money that is coming into the 508 is labeled as a tithe or a donation, right? If there's money coming into the 508 that is labeled as income, anything over 5,000, you do have to file federal income taxes. Now, the 508 does qualify. Um, so let me put it this way. The 508 has the potential to qualify to be exempt from other forms of taxes. Okay. So it's not automatic, and I don't want anyone to think that it's automatic. Okay. So it can qualify for, it has the potential to qualify for state tax exemption, for city and county and property and sales tax exemption. So now you are wanting to address property tax exemption. So when it comes to the 508, it can qualify for property tax exemption. So there are some minimum requirements. So the first one is that the property does have to be directly owned by the nonprofit organization. The second thing is that there has to be nonprofit activity happening at the property. Okay. Meaning that, for example, if you have a church, right? So you have a piece of land, you have a building, it is a church, people come, they congregate their services, right? Or if you have a farm, right? You have a farm, you have a piece of land, you're growing vegetation, people can come and receive free food, right? So you have to have some form of nonprofit activity happening on that property. Now, once you've met those two, where the property is directly owned and there is nonprofit activity, you can go to the county. You can then apply for property tax exemption. Every single county is different. They're going to give you an application for you to be able to apply for property tax exemption. So you have to go through an application process, be qualified, and then they will grant you property tax exemption. Now, what I have seen is that they will ask you for supporting documentation. Okay, so they'll ask you for, if you're running a church, they're going to ask you for, or if you have a building, right, a structure on the property, they're going to ask you for like a seating arrangement, right? Okay, do you have a congregation? Do people come? Do they meet? Things like that, right? So they'll ask you for some type of supporting documentation so that you can show that. What I have also seen is that if there's other activity that is for profit, they will deny your request. Okay. So it has to be 100% nonprofit for the county to really be able to say, yes, this is what that is, and we're going to exempt the property taxes. So it is county specific. Your county, Bobby, is very different, and what they ask for is very different from my county or anyone else that's on the call. So that's why you have to, as as the trustee of that organization, you have to be willing to go through that if you meet the qualifications. Okay.
For sure. And I know that, just as you said, each county is going to be different and that sort of thing. But I was wondering if, in your experience, there's a specific format maybe or something like that for documenting the activities that's going to convey the information as clearly as possible to the people running those organizations, in order to get the easiest yes from them. And because I've noticed, like, when someone's confused, it kind of, they don't know what to do, and it sort of stops things sometimes. And
I agree.
so I've been working on using really clear language when I am interacting with different governmental agencies and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I will tell you that that is a very challenging thing because every single nonprofit is different, and
Mm-hmm.
their activities and what they're doing is different. So to have like a standardized format, I don't see how that's possible.
Okay, for sure. Um, well, um, I think that's pretty much, you've addressed the main thing I was wondering about with that. So thank you.
You're welcome, Bobby. Hey Laura, how are you?
I'm well. It's good to be back. I know it's been a hot second. I had life.
Yes.
Life has
Life
been
be
very
life
hard.
be life.
Yeah, so I kind of, but it was perfect because, okay, so I'm getting a lot more clarity as far as how I'm going to be moving things. Before I was just trying to do everything with the trust and avoid LLCs altogether, but I'm seeing that for the funding that I want to get, LLC
Yep.
is going to be a lot easier. So,
Yep.
um, so I'm seeing that just to get the structure together, because I guess I was somewhat mixing the ministry trust with the family trust as far as purpose goes. I think I'm getting, and I'm going to go back. I was not able to be on the first 2 days so I'm going to go and rewatch those as the refreshers. But from my understanding, I get that the beneficiaries of the family trust are, well, they can't be me and my husband because we're the trustees, or can they still be me and my husband because we don't have children yet?
But can you say that again?
So me and my husband don't have kids, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out who I should put as the beneficiary of the family
Uh-huh.
trust, or what's the purpose. I mean, I know that I feel like it's necessary to have, because children will come down the line. However, I guess I was still confused as to if me and my husband are the beneficiaries of the ministry trust, and then our housing could be taken care of because we're doing trust business, then what is the purpose of the family trust? Because I know the family trust is the beneficiary of the ministry trust.
Okay, so there's two things that I heard here. I'm going to address those two things and you let me know what's missing, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you're asking who should be the beneficiary of the family trust.
Yes.
Now, my question to you is, if you did not wake up tomorrow, who on this earth will you want to receive your asset?
My husband, but he's a trustee as well.
Yeah, that's true. And he can't be the sole beneficiary.
No.
So,
So,
so now,
okay, then
now what?
what if I,
Now, let me ask you this.
okay.
Your husband, you're gonna say you. Listen. If your husband transitioned, who would he want to be the beneficiary? Who would he want to receive? He's gonna want Laura to receive
Yeah.
everything. Okay. All right. So unfortunately, Laura, you're in a sticky situation because you and your husband are both trustees and both of you guys cannot be beneficiaries, and neither of you guys can be the sole beneficiary. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to figure it out.
Because I was going
Um,
to put like, so we have, a living estate trusts for ourselves as well. So I was
yeah,
thinking maybe putting those as the beneficiaries.
you
However, I don't know
can.
how, huh?
You can put an entity. It doesn't have to be a person.
I
So
just
you
didn't
can
know if they were going to like, how close someone would look at it to be like, wait, this is,
It's an
you're,
entity. It's an
okay.
entity. It's an entity. It's not
So
you.
it's,
It's an entity.
that is true.
Um,
Okay.
well, I'm sorry. You had asked something else. It was, I forgot
Because I was
already.
trying to figure out if with the housing situation, like the ministry pays for the housing of the trustees, which we are. So that's why I was trying to figure out if we're getting all of our living expenses covered by the ministry because we're taking care of the ministry. Because I thought that's what the family trust was supposed to be doing, taking care of ourselves, our stuff, because we're taking care of the family trust. But I'm thinking that it might make more sense to have the ministry do that for us, since like I've heard of, my dad used to be a pastor, and they have the church pays for the parish, the pastor's family's
Yeah.
house. So I
Mhm.
could see that. I totally understand. I can wrap my head around that part. um I guess I was just figuring out asset wise where I should be putting my assets, because I only have a set, like all of that, all of the trust can't have my card, all of my trust. So I'm trying to figure out who gets what
So
and what makes the
let
most
me ask
sense.
you, you have a primary residence?
Yes.
Okay, your primary residence should go into your family trust. Now, your 508 can cover the expenses for where the trustee lives and is conducting business. So money from the 508 can go to cover if you have a mortgage or
Rent.
whatever those expenses look like. But as far as ownership, that asset should be owned by the family trust.
Okay. So then so all of our like personal assets would go into the family trust. And
Uh-huh.
then so then what assets would the ministry have then?
It doesn't have to have assets. The trust
Okay.
don't have assets. It's not required. You have three trusts. Maybe you don't have enough assets to spread in all three trusts. One asset that's really good is the insurance policies, which I showed you today. Another asset
Yes.
that's really good is the brokerage accounts. Those are really good assets for you to place into the 508. So the 508 can own any and all assets. It can own real
Okay.
estate, it can own whatever it is that you want it to. So you have to decide. because you don't have to put all of your assets in one trust. So if you have crypto, a lot of people put crypto into the 508.
That makes that makes a lot of sense. And we do plan on opening up a retreat center. And my husband just bought an airplane, so we're actually looking to put the airplane in a trust name,
Where
which I was
is the
thinking.
airplane?
The airplane is based in Georgia, so
I'm in
but
Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. I
oh,
want to go fly with you
we're
guys.
in
Come
Noonan. Yeah, so
on,
yeah,
be
we're in
with
Fairburn. But
you.
we for sure, like we'll take you up because yeah, it has 2 seats. And
Yeah, one of my best
the
friends, he lives in Noonan.
oh, sweet, sweet. So yeah, so we're actually looking to see about putting like if we need to just get a completely separate, because I know we've talked about how automobiles, you said they're may want their own trust because they have a lot of liabilities. So I was thinking that I may need to do the same thing with his plane, and we actually plan on getting like a charter. That's the big picture goal. So I was thinking having the ministry trust hold our retreat center land, which is going to have a private airport as well, and then the LLCs will rent that are held by our business trust will rent space from the ministry's retreat center to host classes so that I can still conduct my for-profit stuff in there, and then just donate a portion of the funds of the income that I get from the LLCs to the ministry as well, is how it's looking in my mind, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you want to be able to share your structure with me, I think that for us to have a side conversation will be more
Yeah.
advantageous than here with everyone on the call because I'll be able to take a deeper dive if you want to have that conversation, Laura.
Yeah. Let's do that. All right. Thank you.
Sounds good. All right. Next we have Kyrie.
Hey Christina, how you doing today?
I'm great, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I had a couple of questions. So one thing I wanted to know first, can like board members and trustees give donations to the 508 and utilize it as a write-off on their taxes?
Yes.
Check those. Okay. Another thing is, let me see number two. Oh, this is the most important thing. Where do I get the type of booklet that I need to keep all this paperwork and my resolutions in? Because
That's a
that's
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we use a trust binder and we got it off of Amazon. So I can have the team send it to you guys, or I can put it in the chat.
okay. Another question I have, in trying to set up my registered agent, right? All they had on there was like, they asked me what type of entity, and they had like nonprofit LLC, nonprofit corporation, and trust. So how would I label my 508? Is it considered a trust?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a five. So it is that trust is designated as a 508.
Okay. And another thing is, if I get ordained, right? Do I get a
Hmm.
tax, do I get a tax exempt card like they do for the like when I'm out making purchases like for equipment and stuff like that, or do I have to do it by way of taxes, or do I get like a card that allows me to purchase stuff without being taxed, like some ministers I see do?
So it sounds like you're referring to like sales tax exemption, and you would have to apply with the state in order to get that card for sales tax exemption, and it'll be done directly through the ministry.
Okay. So
Yeah.
can I run my 508 without a secretary or treasurer or any board members? Can it just be me controlling everything?
No.
Okay, so I got to have at least 3 people.
Yeah, or you're not running a 508.
That's a must. Okay. Oh, one more question. I thought you was gonna read it off the chat box. So I was reading in the format on the 508. It said that the grantor was acknowledging the 508 to the trustee for the benefit of the grantor's family and but wasn't the 508 supposed to be set up for the purpose and benefit of my family and not the grantor's family? Like,
Yes. So the beneficiary is the family trust. But remember, the grantor is the creator of the family trust.
yeah. So
Mm.
why would it be for the benefit of his family? Like in, I think it was section 1 or something like that. It said it was being created for the benefit of the grantor's family and his generation.
You can remove the word grantor.
Okay, I could put it for the benefit of the trustee's family.
So you can just remove it. It's not it. So it's the family trust that is the beneficiary. So it's more of, an organizational thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I would just stay away from grantor and trustee.
But you know what I'm speaking on? I'm like,
Yes,
because
yes,
yeah, that little statement in there saying like that 508 was created for the benefit of my grantor's family.
I know
They
I know it can be a little confusing, but it's because the grantor created the family trust.
yeah. So I wouldn't want my grantor, the family, to have no benefit for all this here that I'm doing. So I just have to change the verbiage in it.
Yeah, so just delete the word grantor because at the end of the day, the beneficiary is the family trust.
Okay. Okay. I guess that's all I have for now. Thank you again for all this information and stuff that you give to us again. I really appreciate you.
You're welcome. So I'm gonna put a link to a binder so that you guys can like take a look at what the trust binders look like. Next we have Osiris.
Yes, yes, yes. I just got two more questions I forgot to ask.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think it's a I don't know. I guess listen, I want the least amount of people to be involved in this whole situation, and I'm trying to have just a minimum of 3 members. But then you also talked about the fellowship, right? And then you also talked about members. So the whole member situation, like you got to get approval from your board members to have members on, and then you gotta do monthly um like checks to see if they're still involved in the ministry and things like that. If I just wanted to have fellowships, that's okay as well, right? People that it's almost like people from the church that come into a church and to praise, whatever they praise. And if they want to make donations, they make donations. But I don't necessarily have to have members that could actually make decisions on the 508.
So members do not make any decisions at all. So they're like members of a membership, but you calling it fellowship.
Okay. And then anybody could join that, right? I mean, they don't. Do they necessarily have to be like brought in through paperwork? Or they do, right? I mean, the, the,
So
the fellowship.
I'm gonna let you know right now that if you want to run your 508 the right way, you're gonna document everything. So that means that they're going to go through an application process. They're going to go through a qualification process. You're going to document and have records. You're going to do roll call if you want to run it the right way.
But members and fellowship, is that the same or is that different? Two different.
No, it's the same.
Okay, cool. One more thing.
Membership, fellowship is the same.
All right, got you. Now, conveying a vehicle into the 508, you were saying that most people don't have the actual title because the bank keeps it. But in New York, they give us the title. It just has a lien on the title. Now, is that easier for me to convey it over? Because I never registered my new truck. I didn't register with the DMV. I have templates on it, and I don't intend to get registration from the DMV. So does that pose a different challenge for me?
You're going to have to contact the DMV to see if you're able to transfer the title because you have a lien on it.
I still have to go to the DMV. I can't do that. I can't do that through the bank because, well, the DMV issued the title, or is it the bank?
The title to the vehicle?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? If it's the bank that issued it, maybe I just have to go through the bank to have that transferred over? Because
I think that's
yeah,
through
I don't know.
I think that's through the DMV.
Okay. All right. That was my only question. Thank you so much. I guess I have to look a little bit more into it. But
You're welcome.
thank you again.
You're
All right,
welcome.
take care.
All right. Next we have Courtney.
Hi again. Okay, so I had a few more questions. These ones are a lot more simple though.
Okay.
Okay. So one of them was the audit. So I noticed that it said the audit has to be done by a third party once a year. Is that once a year editable, or is that like the minimum requirement?
Yeah, that's the minimum requirement. So it's annually and it's going to coincide with the annual meeting, the annual vision meeting.
Okay.
Because
And
it's designed for the audit to be presented during the meeting.
okay, gotcha. And do you have like suggestions on what types of third parties to use for that? That would be the most like cost effective for a simple nonprofit. Or is that something to just look into in your area?
Yeah, I would say look into it in your area.
Okay. Will do. And then the board meeting 3 times a year, that is also the minimum requirement, or is that editable?
Oh, no, you can change it.
Okay. Is there a minimum on how often the board meets?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. And then and it does always have to be 2 signatures in order to do a withdrawal, or can it be one?
It can be one. So
Okay.
tomorrow we'll talk about banking procedures and operations.
Awesome. And then the doctrine section, does it need to be like an existing doctrine that's like religious based, or can it be like a personal philosophy type of doctrine?
Personal philosophy. So whatever you want it to be in alignment with your tenets of faith. So
Okay.
whatever you put there, it should be in alignment with that.
Okay, great. And then the casualty and liability insurance, that's a requirement, correct?
No, it's optional.
No, it's not. It's optional. Okay. And that is for the nonprofit entity and all of its assets and everything. It's insuring that. Is that what it's insuring?
Yeah, just the overall liability of operating the organization.
Okay, gotcha. And then yeah, that was it. Thank you so much.
All right. You're always asking great questions, Courtney. I love it.
Thank
All
you
right,
for answering all of them.
we got we got two more hands here. So we got Eric and Titan, and then it looks like we're going to wrap it up. It's 2:43 Eastern Standard Time. Hey, Eric. Hey, Eric, you're still on mute. We can't hear you.
Hey, I'm here. You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, good. Um, I'm having an issue with getting a bank account for my 508.
Uh-huh. What's the issue?
Um, one of the credit unions didn't really give me a good reason. They just said that we don't do those kind of accounts there.
Yeah, so
Um,
I will tell you that not every financial institution will offer trust accounts. Now, I will tell you that ideally, if you want to get a bank account for your 508, you're going to let them know that it is an irrevocable trust. You're not going to tell them it's a 508c1a. They're going to look at you crazy. Also, you're not going to label it as a nonprofit, because then they're going to want to look on the Secretary of State for the statutory nonprofits that are registered with the state. So you're going to request a trust account for your 508. Now, I don't know if your credit union offers it. Not every credit union offers trust accounts.
okay, so when I go in, I should just automatically say I'm looking for a irrevocable trust account.
Mm-hmm. Simple.
Okay, because I was giving them the whole nine. I was telling them that it's a 508.
Of course. And they're looking at you like you have three eyes. They're like, dude, what the heck is this? Like, we can't help you
Yeah,
here. Like, go to the bank next door. You see one across the street, go to the one across the street. And then
that's
also a confused mind, like, cannot provide any type of clarity. So when you go in there spitting game that they don't know anything about, they're gonna be like, what? And so you're confusing the banker. And a lot of times, what I need you to understand is that you're going to have to be in a position to where you're always educating the person across from you, because they don't know what a trust is. They're not operating a trust, and you're coming into their establishment asking for all these trust things.
yeah. They was looking at me like I was crazy, and like
Of
I went.
course.
I been went with my grantor, young lady that's assisted me actually, and we trying to explain to them, and it's like, what are you talking about? Or like
Oh,
Bank of
so
America.
I'm going to tell you,
Mhm.
Eric, less is more.
What you mean by less is more?
Oh, okay. I'll break it down for you. So, less is more, meaning the less that you tell them, the more you will receive from them. Okay.
Gotcha.
So if you go in there saying, hey, I want to open up a 508c1a, which is a nonprofit tax exempt organization, all this stuff, they're going to be like, huh? If you say, hey, I would like to open up an account for an irrevocable trust, they're like,
Mm.
absolutely, sir. Come sit down right here. Less is more.
So I guess it's too late to even go back to those same banks and ask for that, right? Because they're gonna be like, well, what are you doing now?
I have I have I have no clue, but I wouldn't say it's too late. I would say try a different representative.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Um. Also, I have an employer that may consider like donating to the ministry as payments. Um, is the best route to do that is to have them just donate to it, or should I do a 1099, like a contract type of thing?
That's up to you and the employer. That's between you and the employer and what agreement you guys make. You know, that's very different. Like that looks very different for the employer.
Yeah, I
So
know.
what are they willing to do? Are they willing to do charitable contributions or are they willing to do a 1099? Those are two different things.
Yeah, I know. Because I wanted to do it as a like a charity type situation. Because if they do it that way, they get to write it off, right?
Yeah.
Right. Which would benefit the employer as well. All right. I mean, I have to explain it to them though, like just in case they deny the donation, I could do it the other route.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I think that's it. I'm gonna go back to a bank and try to figure it out. Do you think I should try online banking for my 508?
That's what I recommend. I love Ally Bank. I love Fidelity. Um I
Okay.
love Truist. So Ally is pretty good. Go for Ally.
How do you get cash from like online banking? Or you don't everything's just digital?
Yeah, they give you a debit card. And then the online banks partner with physical banks. So like you might go into, Chase or Wells Fargo and they'll provide you services for the online bank. They have partners.
Oh, okay. It's good to know. All right, cool. Now I think that's it for now.
Sounds good, Eric.
All right, thank you, Christina.
You're welcome. All right, we have Titan and then we have Nadine. I hope I say your name or Miss Dixon. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but I would love for you to correct me. Hi, Titan.
Oh, how you doing? I just had a question about if I did a stipend, like as far as like the monies that's received into the ministry as donations, and then people working in certain positions getting a stipend for maybe, say, for example, programs that I'm running. And then so I give them the stipend. Do they have to pay tax? And even myself, I'm paying myself through a stipend for whatever I'm working on, whatever project for the nonprofit that I'm working on. Do I have to pay taxes or do they have to pay taxes on the stipend?
That's a really good question. So I don't answer tax questions. Our CPA does. He will be here Friday at 12:30.
Okay, gotcha. All
All
right.
righty.
That was it. All right.
Yeah. Awesome. Next is Miss Dixon. Hey, Miss Dixon.
Going. Uh, I just was wanting to say I enjoyed today. It was a lot. It's a lot, but it's a whole lot. But I've enjoyed it, and I think I'm gonna have to get my kids involved, and we're gonna have to try to put it all
Yes.
together. We've
It
been
takes a
doing
village.
we give scholarships out, just little scholarships every year, in our my daughter's little project nonprofit that she has, but I don't have, we don't have all the paperwork for that. We just give the money away like that, basically, and write it off our taxes or whatever. But I see now it's going to be, this takes a lot of actual planning and putting it together, right? Because I want to put all of the nonprofits into, can I put more than one? Because each one of us has one. So can we put them all into the trust like that or what?
Yeah, if you would like to, absolutely.
Okay, that's what I was just wondering too. And that's basically it. I just wanted to tell you that I had enjoyed it. It took me a long time to finally get it connected, but connected with you, but I'm glad I did. And the only other thing is I still don't have day one. Day one
No,
information
okay.
still didn't come through.
Okay, I'm gonna have Ivy resend it. It might have went to spam or promotions depending on your email provider. So I'm gonna have her resend it so that you have it readily available.
Okay, and I do have the others. And when I put the one that had the two had all those errors, like 7, 8 errors on each on those 7, 8 pages. But when you said something about Google Docs, I said, well, I have a Google Docs. And so I put it in my Google Docs and everything comes out. It looks perfect.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Mhm,
I love that.
mhm.
Listen, that's my
Yeah,
favorite software to use.
yeah.
So I'm
So
with you on that.
it's like
We
Google,
on the
Google Docs
same page.
corrected. They corrected
Everything.
evidently. They corrected everything.
Yes. I know
Mhm.
that's how I feel too. I'm like, yeah, I don't want no other software but Google.
Mhm. All right.
Yes.
But anyway, you all have a good day. That's all I just
Yes,
wanted to say.
thank you, Ms. Dixon.
All
Appreciate
right.
you so much. Thank you for being here.
All
All
right.
right,
Thank you.
guys.
Looking forward
Yeah.
to tomorrow.
Yay! Tomorrow's gonna be great. I'm about to let you guys know what tomorrow is gonna look like. Let me see. So we are all done for today. Give me one moment. Oh, I see a question in the chat. From Julius, how would you know if the trust name that you want isn't already taken in that manner? Secondly, alternatively, can I just use the existing business LLC name? That's a really good question. So if you would like to use the same name, you can, because one is a LLC and the other one is a trust. So they can have the same name if that's what you would like. Um, and then as far as like looking up names that are available, you can look it up online. I really don't know like what what the website is, but you can. And if you have any issues, so you can choose any name that you would like to operate under. If there's any issues, then you'll also find out because you won't be able to be issued like an EIN number. So yeah, there's ways for you to find out. So with that being said, we're all done for day 3 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop, you guys. So you do have homework. So we have established our 3 trusts as of today. So we want to be able to hold you accountable. So let us know when you are going to start implementing the information that you learned today and finalizing setting up your trust documents. So let us know inside of our Telegram chat so we can hold you accountable. Another thing is continue to work on your asset inventory list because on Friday we're going to focus on transferring assets. So a lot of you guys had questions about, conveying certain assets into the trust. So we'll discuss all those things on Friday. Now we're going to meet here, same place, same space, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. You're going to receive an email 1 hour before the workshop, and it's going to have all the resources and templates that you're going to need for tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to begin with applying for an EIN for a business trust. Then we're going to transition into me providing you with a list of banks, going over the banking account setup process, and then we'll have a board meeting so we can go over banking operations and procedures. Then I will show you how to document document trust funds. And then lastly, our educator will come in and teach you guys about business funding and credit so that you guys can leverage OPM, other people's money. So without further ado, you guys have an amazing and blessed rest of your Wednesday. And I will see you guys here tomorrow for day 4 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.